This is Allison Bonella. It's been a while since I've done morning meditations and I've missed it. And I wanted to do a meditation based on something I've been studying in my own personal devotion. I'm studying the book of James right now, and this morning when I read James 1:19, it says, "Understand this, my dear brothers and sisters. You must all be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to get angry." How many of us struggle with that? We struggle with the listening, the speaking, and then the emotional response, in this case, anger. When I work with couples, either in therapy or coaching, there are many different issues they bring, but I think a pretty consistent issue, regardless of what the other surrounding issues are, is communication. I hear a lot about communication, lack of communication, lack of appropriate communication. And one of the things I'll frequently hear one or the other person say is, "I don't think he or she listens to me. I don't feel I'm being heard. I don't think they listen to me when I say something, or they're not hearing me when I speak." So that listening to and that hearing, it's often reference. So I thought today I wanted to address that verse, James 1:19, in that context, in the context of relationships, which is really, it has to be in the context of relationships, no matter what kind of relationship. Think about your relationships. Make this personal. Have you ever felt that way? Have you ever felt that your partner wasn't paying attention to you, or that they really didn't understand what you were trying to say, or you yourself couldn't understand what they were getting at? You thought you were listening, but now you're being accused of not listening to them properly or not hearing them. It can be very frustrating. And you could see why anger could be a result of it. You could get angry being accused of not listening when you know you were trying. And you could get angry that somebody you feel is not really paying attention to something that you're sharing that's from your heart. So either which way, the response of frustration and anger makes sense. I do want to share a couple of tips about that issue, a couple of tips that might help you come around some of that. And hopefully you'll be able to try them out and see an improvement in your communication with your partner, with your spouse. Okay. And these tips really come straight from that passage. There's a lot in here. One of the things is slow down. It says be slow to speak, but be quick to listen. All right. So let's talk about the slow to speak first. When we slow down, we're able to be a little bit more intentional and pay closer attention. It's funny, it says slow to speak, but I want to say also be slow to really not respond, but also slow down even your listening. It says be quick to listen, meaning be attentive. But I think in the actual act of listening, pay attention in a very deliberate manner. Slow down and repeat what's said to you. So when you speak, make sure that you're speaking back to the person, saying to the person, "This is what I heard," or "This is what I think I heard you say." Before you make a response, and this is the kicker here, because we're always quick to respond. We're like, "Oh, I got the answer." Sometimes we cut people off before they even finish. "I know exactly what you're going to say. You said it last week. You said it a week before. Let me, well, if somebody's repeating things over and over again, hint, 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 that means they don't think they're really being heard. They're not being listened to. Nobody needs to repeat something they think was heard the first time. So they're repeating it to you. Get a clue. They're repeating it to you because they're not feeling like you're hearing them the first, second, or millionth time. So what you want to do is you want to reflect it back. You want to repeat it back to the person so that they know and you know that you heard the right thing. Many times when I do this exercise with couples, the partner will repeat what they heard partner one say, partner two will repeat it, and partner one will say, "That's not what I said." And partner two will look at me because I am the evidence. I am in the room. I had heard it too. And they looked at me and said, "You see what's going on here? That is what she said." And I will say to them, "You have some of it, but you didn't have the full context," because that's often what's the case. They'll hear like the last a couple of seconds of what was being said and totally ignore the first, or they'll hear the first and they won't hear the rest of it. And I'll say, just tell your partner what it is that you heard said, not with a whole bunch of interpretation. Just tell them what you heard. So that sometimes clears it up. Definitely slow down is speaking, but be very intent in your listening too, so that you could repeat back. Now, I do want to say, don't repeat it back in like a mocking way. Like, I heard you said that you want for us to go to this restaurant on Saturday. Mocking is never going to get you anywhere. Don't do it in a way that you think, is funny, because this is very serious. Somebody's sharing their heart with you. Be able to stop and say, okay, this is what I think I heard. Now, that's the other part of it. Be tentative about it. You're not sure until they tell you, yes, that's correct. So always be tentative. Tentative allows the door to be open for any kind of correction, for any kind of adjustment. If you're sure about what you heard, well, I definitely heard you say this. That sets up an aggressive tone, and that could lead very quickly to anger, either on your partner's part or on your part. When your partner says, no, that's not right, then you have conflict there. Then you're going to fight about it. What did you say and what did they hear? Whereas if you say tentatively, well, okay, this is what I thought I heard you say. I thought I heard you say that you wanted to go to restaurant A because restaurant B, you didn't like how they served the food last time. Is that what I heard? So always ask for clarification. Welcome correction. Welcome your partner to adjust what it is. And then don't fight about it. If they say, well, no, I didn't say I didn't like restaurant B. Let them correct however they feel they need to correct. If you partially open that door, then they don't have to aggressively push it open. Do that. So ask questions for clarification, kind of slow down how it is you're hearing it, and be tentative in how you respond so that the person knows that it's okay to come and make an adjustment, because you really want, at the end of the day, at the end of this whole communication, you really want to be in tune with them. I think your partner will really appreciate that. Practice this communication technique and let me know how it goes. It can't be a one-time thing. It has to be over and over again until you guys really are in tune with each other. A couple that's in tune with each other, they are able to communicate so beautifully. It's a beauty to behold. But you have to first start by taking these steps and allowing your partner to know there's a great willingness on your part to really understand what it is that they're trying to tell you. Lastly, when you're both agreed on it, when you get the go light, when you get this, yes, that's exactly what I was trying to say, that's when you really can give input with regards to what it is your response needs to be. And hopefully your partner could do the same thing for you on that second part, that they will also be slow to speak, and they will also check for clarification, and they will be open to a moderation of the response, by tentatively sharing what they thought that they heard you say. Go back and forth with this a couple of times. It can be a fun exercise if you do it in a light-hearted spirit and in a spirit that says, hey, we just want to do good with this exercise. We really want to be in tune with each other. Well, that's my tip from James 1:19. And the verses said again, understand this, my dear brothers and sisters, you must be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to get angry. This is Allison Bonella, your Focus Life Coach, inviting you to dream big, set goals, and take action, and have an awesome relationship. Bye.